Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you the last, or at least the last so far, of the COVID characters. This one is arguably on the best of the new characters we got, and that is, of course, Lucille Smith, the wife to the head-bashing villain Negan Smith, and the name inspiration for the baseball bat that killed two main characters. Lucille is, of course, female. She is played by Hilary Burton Morgan, the wife to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That's Negan's actor, if you didn't know, by the way. Lucille is, of course, mid to late 30s and first appeared in Here's Negan. Now, normally I would talk about what Lucille did before the outbreak, but because the Here's Negan episode takes place a short time before the outbreak, I'm going to be covering the whole episode and Lucille in chronological order, and not in the order it is during the episode. So I'm going to be going to starting with season 10, then going through a few mentions of her. So it's going to be a bit confusing. Just try to stay along, okay? So before the episode, Lucille lived in Virginia. It's unknown what her occupation was, but she married a man called Negan Smith, who was a gym teacher. They were both a fan of Half Moon, an artist who later turned out to be Beta, and also a fan of Iron Maiden, and also a huge fan of Joe Cocker's song You Are So Beautiful, a song they would listen to a lot as it was Lucille's favourite. They tried to start a family, but unfortunately couldn't. One day when they were at a bar, Negan played You Are So Beautiful for Lucille, but this drunk guy ruined the song by being loud and rude. Lucille told the man to be quiet and asked for 50 cents to play the song again, but he didn't. And he was just rude to her. So Negan beat his ass, took some money, and played the song twice. The man that Negan beat up unfortunately had kids at Negan's school, so Negan was fired, sued, and put on probation. Lucille was forced to pay the man's medical bills as Negan became a Gears of War 2 gamer. Lucille also had a good friend called Janine. In season 10, Lucille walks home, presumably after work. She storms into the basement where Negan is as he's shit-talking some kids online and berates him over an expensive jacket that he bought. She says that she was going to return it, but Negan tells her that he binned the receipt, so Lucille secretly hides it in the crawl space. At dinner, Lucille asks Negan to take her to her MRI session, but Negan tells her that he has a probation meeting, so he cannot. Lucille goes to the doctors by herself and is unfortunately diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. In the car, after the meeting with the doctor, she tries to call Negan and then Janine, figuring out by looking at the phone records that Negan is having an affair with Janine. Lucille angrily starts the car, missing the radio announcement about the outbreak, and listens to some Iron Maiden as she drives home in rage. She goes home getting a gun ready, waiting to kill Negan. And when he arrives, she changes her mind and reveals to him that she has cancer instead of shooting him. The doctors gave her a chemotherapy treatment plan, and during her treatment, Negan began to change as a person and change in his usual ways. When the outbreak began, yes, we are still in season 10, by the way, the virus obviously went global. Lucille and Negan stayed in their house, surviving. Lucille would slowly be given the chemotherapy as Negan kept her safe. They stayed in the basement and used their generators to watch movies. Negan knew about a travelling caravan of doctors too. 7 months in, Negan is forced to turn off the generators due to zombies and reads Pride and Prejudice to Lucille, despite hating the book. He goes to deal with a walker, but Lucille is forced out with a little drip to come help shoot the zombie to stop Negan from being bit. And that was their last bullet. Negan sings You Are So Beautiful and they sleep. Later, they try on wigs, play darts, laugh and have dinner. At dinner, Lucille gives Negan the gift of that leather jacket she stored in the crawl space all those months ago. They smoke some weed Negan found, they have sex, and they sleep. But in the morning, Negan finds the chemo is all gone as he left the generators off the previous night. Negan preps to go get more from the doctors, but Lucille pleads with him to stay and not bother. Negan says no, and Lucille reveals she knew about his affair, but after everything he has done, she has forgiven him because he changed. Negan, though, persists and insists on going on the mission and goes. After Negan leaves, Lucille writes a note on the door. She ties herself to the bed. She purposely overdoses on pills and wraps a bag over her head, deciding not to carry on with trying to survive. Negan comes home after his mission to see this. Negan is crushed. He goes to kill his wife, but he can't. He takes the bag off of her head and sits by the bed defeated. He then goes to make Lucille the bat and eventually decides to burn the house to the ground, including Lucille. He watches as she is engulfed in flames. Negan then leaves a new man, born from the ashes. It's unsure if Lucille the zombie is still there. It's very possible. We've seen that fire does not kill zombies. So there is a chance that Lucille is still a zombie, a charred zombie in that house. However, the character I'm pretty sure is we've done to explore. There's every chance that Negan may go back to finally put his wife down and bury her, but obviously we haven't seen that yet, so I'm not sure. I'm just figured we'd do the character. So in season 8, Lucille is mentioned by Negan when talking to Gabriel, and later when he's talking to Jadis. He talks about her to Michonne in season 9, and also in season 9 begs Maggie to kill him so he can be with Lucille. In season 10, yes, back to season 10, Negan talks to Alpha about her, and then in Here's Negan, obviously he reflects on his time with Lucille. And then later in the present, after we've seen all the flashbacks, we see that Negan burns Lucille the baseball bat after she's been broken and says a proper goodbye to Lucille the person, not the bat. Okay, so that is Lucille in chronological order. So I know Lucille was only a 1-episode character, but I've made quite a long video on her. Actually, I think this video is longer than Abraham's video. That's really bad. But the main reason is because I think she's crucial to understanding Negan's character. It's clear that Negan was always someone who had a violence and rage in him. The only thing stopping him was his love for Lucille and the fact that there were rules and laws. It's clear from the episode that after Lucille died, Negan, or at least the Negan that we know, was born. I think the character was played really well. She has a lot of charm, a lot of charisma, and in that death scene that we see, well, that was crushing, but very beautiful as well. So thanks for watching. Tell me your thoughts on Lucille Smith. Did you like the Here's Negan episode? And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.